Me. I'm just kidding. All right, fantastic. Well, welcome everybody to the Facebook Live that I normally do at 10 pages with Tim, which a lot of you know that I do. I read 10 pages of a good book and I share my experience, and that has been a lot of fun putting positive energy out there in the social media world. What I've started to do, and I just really quickly before I introduce our special guest, how did I get here in reference to interviewing this young lady here with me today? So I'm in an industry where there's a lot of training involved in reference to becoming the best version of yourself and doing things to, like any industry, you go to training to become better at what you do to hone your craft. And this training that I went to, one of the things that they suggested doing was to interview some of the top people in your business on a Facebook Live to let people out there know that this is just regular people having, either extraordinary results or something about the company, the business, the products that has changed their life. Very simply, a nice, candid conversation. And they're one of the very first people I thought about immediately because she's been such a huge friend, mentor, and a giver. I'm not even in her organization in this industry or in our company, and yet we work closely together, and she shares things with me to help me grow my business. I reached out to her and she immediately said yes, which is what great leaders do. So here we are with Aana Camp, and Aana Camp is a young lady that I met through this business. I met her at one of our big events. I met her through a gentleman by the name of Don Wilkinson, face to face. We're standing in line waiting for, I think, some coffee, and he said, "Do you know Aana?" I said, "I've never met her." But I'm really excited today because for a lot of you out there are watching, and I just did a Facebook Live last week, but there's a lot of folks out there, especially now today, with all the people that have been laid off, that are on unemployment, that are looking to supplement their income. There's a lot of folks out there looking, and there's a lot of folks out there doing a business like that I do, that many of you know that I do. And I know there's a lot of folks that are sitting at home thinking to themselves, I'd like to reach out to Tim, or I'd like to reach out to Aana, but I just don't know. There's something that's stopping you. And so these Facebook Lives that I want to do with Aana, and I'm going to ask her some questions, this is meant to help that person maybe say, I'm ready to at least reach out. Because if, based on what they just shared, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could, put my foot in front of the other and get out of my comfort zone, try something new, because they look like they're having fun. It looks like it works, but I have all these misconceptions and ideas about what it is or isn't. So here we are. And, I'd like to introduce Aana Camp. She's from California. I would like to have her, before we get started, share a little bit about her story and her background.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, Tim, thanks for having me on. I love that you're doing this because it's so true. Don't you find that sometimes you just don't know what you don't know? And so you don't even know what questions to ask, even if you're a little bit curious. So, I just think this is awesome that you're doing this. This is amazing. And you've become such a dear, dear friend of mine. I have watched you lead hundreds and hundreds of people. So, yeah, I live here in Southern California, and my background, I was in the real estate business for about 10 years. I've been in corporate America as well for many years, and I've actually owned a very successful traditional business. So you could say I've kind of been around the block, but I don't know that I've ever done anything that's had such an impact on my life, both personally and professionally and spiritually and emotionally and definitely financially like this has. But yeah, I actually had a gentleman, a very astute businessman, reach out to me and talk about this accidental discovery and talk about this night cream that he had that delivered these results that the world had never seen before. And we're sitting on a gold mine, and all I could think, because I was working 50, 60 hours a week at the time, all I could think was, sitting on a gold mine. No, we are not sitting on anything. I'm busy. And it was really just a simple cup of coffee. And I always say the cup of coffee that changed my life, because in the course of just chatting with him, even though I was not looking for something, I really needed something. And I remember him pulling out before and after pictures. And just like the same way I do that today with people and show them, I looked at those pictures and went, oh my gosh, I want some. I don't know what that is, but I want some of that if it does what I see in those pictures. And so, yeah, it was kind of my first brush with the business. Was I never thought that the biggest change in my life would come in a bottle of night cream in the hands of a 6'5" man, but um, it definitely did. Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people out there that think, well, if I do this business and the 3 people or 5 people I talk to say no, then I'm not going to do this business. But in reference to you, because this answer is different for everybody, when you first took a look at it, and like you said, I saw those pictures and I thought, oh my gosh, yes. Was it an immediate yes for you? And would it have mattered if it was an astute businessman or the girl down the street? Would it have mattered? Because were you at a place in your life, like what was the thing that made you, say, yeah, I'm going to actually do this? And with that same question, what held you back, if anything, in reference to hesitation or doubt, or what was your thought process? So 2 questions. Did it matter who showed it to you? And what type of hesitation did you have?
Well, I'm always open. I try to always be open and at least give somebody the benefit of the doubt. So I would say if anyone's watching this, the number one thing, just be open. Just be open, because all you're doing is taking a look at some information. Nobody's going to talk you into anything. And he wasn't talking me into anything. He was just really excited. And that excitement, coupled with his massive belief, I know now, moved me into being more curious and wanting to know more about it. Was I wanting to do another business or a quote unquote business? No, was not interested in. I was working 50, 60 hours a week. I didn't think I had time to do anything, but I was open. And when I became real reluctant, like kind of stop selling me, dude, when I became like that, he was very kind and just said, here, try it, take it home and try it. And that, I think, took my guard down, which then led me to trying it and really recognizing that that product was so incredibly different than anything I'd ever tried. Just for a lot of reasons, made me more curious, which then led me to, well, I wonder what this website looks like, because he had given me his website. And looking at this beautiful, so professional, such beautifully professionally done website, I thought, well, I wonder what the ordering process looks like. Because back then there was only one product. So it wasn't like you had to look through a whole catalog. There was just, how does this look? And I went through the process and I remember thinking, oh, well, I'll just pop my information in here. And it got to the point of putting your credit card in. And I went to put my credit card in. And what you don't know about me, if you're listening to this, is that I was about $50,000 in credit card debt. I was on the verge of losing my home. He didn't know that. He just was reaching out to me as a friend, thinking, oh, maybe she'll try it. Maybe she'll want to buy this stuff. And my credit card went through. And I had been praying for months, I don't know what you have for me, Lord, but you do. Figure it out, because I don't know how I'm going to get out of this credit card debt. I mean, I'm hoping this new business that I was building at the time was going to, make it. But like many new business owners, you go backwards sometimes before you go forwards. And that's where I was. But I also knew I had this kind of underlying fear, I'm going to say, just really transparently, that, oh my gosh, what if I had to sit across the desk from a woman half my age interviewing me for a position, that I was overqualified for, to find out that I was going to make only a little more than minimum wage and never get out of the debt, never be able to retire, never to be able to travel, never to be able to spend the quality time with my family. And so I had that underlying fear of, if this business that I'm working so hard at doesn't work, what am I going to do? And I felt like, I was praying about it. Like I really needed something. Wasn't willing to admit that to myself or anybody else, because on the outside it still looked pretty good. But yeah, and so when that order went through, I was in a mix of, shock and disbelief. And then, of course, now what? Eek.
Yeah. And
What am
I like the story behind that. You said about a week prior, what you tried to buy some shoes and the
Oh
credit card
yeah,
didn't
I was
go through.
telling you that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to, like, the credit card didn't work for the shoes I tried to buy the week before. So the fact that my credit card went through, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, is that you? Because
And
I
that's another, I think that before we go to the next question, I think that's another good thing is that he didn't prejudge the way you looked on the outside or that you worked 50, 60 hours a week or anything. He was just excited and said, hey, I'd like you to take a look, may or may not be interested. Look at this. And
yeah,
just based on his energy, you were open to that, which then went to the next step,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
very exciting. So now once you decided, okay, or what, I don't know if you decided so much as fate would have it that the credit card went through. And once that went through, how long did it take for you to be all in and say, I'm doing this now? Because for me, I signed on the dotted line and 2 years went by because even though it was my friend and I'm like, wow, he's having success. Once I signed up, that buyers or more started coming in for me. I'm like, I'm a guy. What am I going to do? Facials? Like, I don't get it. And so 2 years went by before I did anything. What was your story when you signed up? Did you have people that were like, this is what we're doing, here we go, and you were ready? Or was there a pause?
Not exactly, but I am, as a person, really introspective. And so there's something I know about myself. I know that fear, I've done a lot of study on fear, and I know that my brain will stop me from doing anything that feels uncomfortable. So I knew for me, if I didn't act quickly, I would talk myself out of it. It's the brain's defense mechanism. I call it the emergency brake. Your brain pulls the emergency brake on whatever you're doing. So I knew that I had to act really quickly. And it was very interesting because I had been thinking, well, if I was going to ever recreate myself, I wanted to be something that made a difference. I wanted it to be something on purpose. I wanted to have a plan, not just about what I was going to do for myself, but I wanted it to help other people. And so I thought, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but it just really came to me almost immediately. I thought, I'm not the only woman who's broke. I'm not the only person who wants to make a difference. I'm not the only person who was a single mom. I was a single mom for 18 years. I'm not the only person who wants to help their kids pay off college debt or help their aging parents or what? You buy a handbag or a Ferrari.
Yeah.
I'm not the only person. And I thought, if this product really works like those pictures I saw, this could help a lot of people. I already know people want to look good. That was a given. But what if this really could be a vehicle to change my life? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to help at least 100 women make a six-figure income. And honestly, that was the craziest thing in the world because I had no idea. I've never had success doing anything like this. Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't have a plan together. But I got really excited. And what happened for me was I sort of naturally mimicked what my friend did with me. He had massive enthusiasm and massive belief and a lot of excitement. And so the same thing he said to me, I found myself saying to my friends, oh my gosh, I've got something. We're going to make millions. But of course, I had no idea. But that's all I knew. And so that's what I said. And really within a couple of weeks, I had results that you could see in pictures. Like the greatest thing I did was take a before picture.
Mhm.
And I literally I kind of sailed on that um, belief because he had belief, I had belief. I just immediately grabbed onto that. And the more people I shared it with, and the more people that were willing to try it, and the more people that took their before pictures, it built massive belief. Because when you have something that um, works,
Yeah.
it naturally networks.
Hmm.
And that's the beauty of it, especially in an area where there's such high demand.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. And if a guy like me from the restaurant industry can have a little bit of success, anybody can. Uh, what do you love most about Neora? Because I know there's a lot of companies out there, and there's a lot of friends of mine in other companies, and they're with those companies for certain reasons. But I could ask you, is it the company, the culture, the products, all of the above? What really, when you think about this business and this company, what is it that you say, this is my home?
It's really a combination of all of that. But I would have to say, really the heart of the company. I love that, no company ever gets it right, but I've never been surrounded by people who strive to get it right
Mm.
at all costs. And what I mean by that is a company that goes so far out of their way to curate products that not only deliver results, but have huge differentiation against anything else on the market out there, but then strive to make those products clean. So we're getting a lot smarter, right? We want to get the results, but we also want products that are clean and good for our body. So in that area, I love that. I love being aligned with a company that strives to get it right. And that translates down into the entire culture. So
Mhm.
getting it right in the area of becoming a better person, the personal development that we're all really steeped in. Everyone in this company reads 10 pages of a good book. I love the 10 pages with Tim, by the way. I was trying to figure out how I could do that with the name Aana. There's got to be a way. I want to steal that one. But yeah, just having being around people, because in this type of profession, nobody can be successful without helping a whole lot of people become successful. So unlike corporate America, there's no dog eat dog here. The culture from the top down, the company tries to get it right. People here, we all try to get it right. You and I are not even financially tied to each other, but yet we've become amazing friends. We learn a lot from each other, and the camaraderie that we have, and that's all across the board within the whole company. I mean, I could call anybody in this company and get help. And so I love that. It's people. I don't know that I've ever had the type of friends in my life, good quality, deep people, that I've created world-class friendships with. And so it's a combination really of all of it. And, looking great and feeling great isn't, it's kind of a nice
That's
thing.
not bad.
As you
Now,
get older, it's kind of like, wow, I think I feel better than most of my friends. And
well, I mean, you look absolutely fabulous. What are you using?
I'm like, oh, gotta try my night cream. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess the last question is this, and this is for, people want to know, can I do this? And I think it's the full circle,
Mm.
coming from $50,000 in debt, being open, a business owner, 50 to 60 hours a week. So no money, no time, but you were open. How has Neora, other than those two things, I've got time freedom, I've got money now, how has Neora changed your life? And why would you invite someone to take a look at this business other than what we've already said?
Well, obviously it's changed my life, financially. That's huge. That one's just the obvious one. But, when I got started here, people don't believe this about me, but I was incredibly introverted. When I got started here, I had very few friends because as a single mom, I had sold my soul to providing a roof over my son and myself's head, and really had lost a lot of friends. I was very single focused on that as a mom. And so it's provided for me um, a very safe platform to become the person that I think I was born to be. And I never in a million years thought that I would have a team that would follow me. I never in a million years thought that I would, get on a Zoom and train hundreds of people or stand in front of on a stage with a microphone in my hand. If you would have told me that was going to ever happen, I probably would have quit before I started. I'm a completely different person, really in every area, from just having the listening skills to hear the special words from my family, to steal a few minutes away from an incredibly hectic day to ground myself enough to hear the thoughts and the dreams and the goals of another person and be completely engaged in that, to be able to have valuable friendships, which I didn't have before this, to be able to be in a safe place to grow into the woman I believe that God created me to be, and still growing every single day. So I never would. I sometimes think that this is really a personal development company disguised with some really great products, because I think that's it. And just the journey alone, if I never made any money or sold any product or changed anybody's life, I think the biggest gift to me is the impact that this has on other people's lives. That's the biggest thing. Be able to get up in the morning and get up because you know that helping someone through the process of learning how to do this, because nobody does this alone. We do this with you and for you, for crying out loud. When you get started, nobody does this alone. It's like really hand in hand. But having that being modeled for me and being able to do that for other people. So to see people earn a car, to see people change their financial future, to see women who've retired their husbands, to see husbands that have enabled their wives to stay home with the kids, to do all of that and have it be so fun that, like, oh my gosh, this is really my job. This is really my life. How did that happen?
It's amazing. It was two worlds converging at once when I decided to make a very big shift in my life, in reference to my health and my well-being. And I needed to reach out for help in that area because I knew it was the one thing that was holding me back in life. And once I started going down that avenue, it's like Neora showed up again in my life. Something happened where I couldn't have done it on my own, to where I was then open. And then I wouldn't be on the path that I am, like you. I would not stay with a company for 6, 7 years now that wasn't authentically what it said it was. I would have left a long time ago. It is what we say it is. It is helping, making people better, looking, feeling, living better, the culture, and like you said, becoming the best version of me, someone I didn't know I could be, in a safe place. That was such a great way of describing that, because it really is. It's a safe place to do that. Because I've been in sales, I've been in corporate America, I've been in restaurant industry where it is dog eat dog, and you, in order to climb the ladder, you got to pull, kick, push. And here, the only way to go up is to become better and help others become better. And you are one of the very, very top leaders because of that. So
Oh,
thank you
you.
so much. Is there anything you want to share before we sign
The
off?
last thing that I think I would love to share is being a traditional business owner. Um, I had a very successful business that I had sold, but with all of that experience, what I really want to say here is the thing that really blew my mind the most in the beginning was there's no risk.
Mm,
Because when you have sort of a parent company that's done all the research and development, they've done all of the branding, all of the marketing, they've done all of the warehousing, they do all of the shipping, they do all of the payroll, they do everything. Like, I never thought that there was a way where you could do what you can do here without any overhead. So anyone that has ever owned a traditional business, I mean, it cost me $50,000, $60,000 a month to
a
run my
month.
business, and I have no overhead here, none. And the products I use, I get for free every month. There's a perk. So, I mean, that's the one thing that I would say to people. There's just no risk. My gosh, if you know anybody with skin and cells
20
in their body
bucks.
and a brain, and
We're not, I wanted to get in more of this kind of candid conversation, more into the sales part of it. We got promotions coming and all that, but we really do. We really do, for the next 90 days, have some of the biggest announcements our company has ever put out there. And like you said, the risk is so low. Our CEO took the investment down to $20 because of the pandemic, because he knows that people, I mean, that's the kind of quality leadership we have. It says, you know what, this should be open to everybody, regardless of if they can afford it or not. And that has opened the doors. But then the announcements that are coming, the launches, it, it's going to be the ride of our life. And that's the fun part. It's like, we haven't even really gotten started yet. So thank you again.
Oh my
I
God.
hope you all enjoyed as much as I did having this conversation with Aana Camp. And please feel free to reach out to her or I with any other questions. That's what this is meant to do, is to help you feel comfortable to say maybe. So you guys have an awesome day. Be kind, loving, and tolerant to each other, and have an awesome week. Take care. Thanks so
Thanks.
much, Aana.